Yo, what is up, guys? It is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, back at today with another fantasy football video. In today's video, I got you guys the Week 15 quarterback start or sit decisions. I go through every single game from Thursday night all the way until Monday night and tell you whether you should start or sit the quarterbacks in those matchups. Now, before I get into the games, I'd like to give you guys a word from my friends and my sponsor over at OverlayDFS.com. OverlayDFS.com is my favorite way to play daily fantasy sports. Now, obviously, on the website, they have NFL, mainly what I cover, but they also have NBA as well, so you can get your fix for both NBA and NFL on OverlayDFS.com. Now, obviously, I'm going to be talking about the NFL here. My favorite game to play is the progressive game mode. Now, they have entries at all price points, $2.5, $22, or $109. Now, the cool thing here is what progressive means. There's that beautiful progressive bonus. If you hit 12 and 0, you will cash that progressive bonus. In the $22 game, you cash a progressive bonus of over $10,000. Now, obviously, on Sunday, it is going to be even higher than that. I'm recording this on Tuesday. It is going to be even higher at that time when it comes to hit Sunday, so make sure you check that out. Now, the way that the game works, it is very simple. If you hit the top 10% of players, you win 9 times your buy-in. It is that simple. And the way I'm going to show you how it works, it is so simple. All you got to do is make 12 picks plus 3 alternate picks in case one of your players ends up getting hurt or something happens that causes the matchup to be voided. It is so simple. It is player versus player. Pat Mahomes versus Denver, or do you think Jimmy Garoppolo will do better versus the Atlanta Falcons? It is so simple. To me, that is obviously Pat Mahomes, but there's so many matchups here. Over 30 plus matchups that you could choose from. They are different every single week, and it is so easy to do. Pretty much you're not even really playing against everyone. It's just you versus the cutoff to see if you can hit that top 10% and win 9 times your buy-in. So make sure to check out OverlayDFS.com, link down below in the description. And we are back. Make sure to check out OverlayDFS.com, link down below in the description. Let's get right into the games. First game, here's the Thursday night football matchup between the Jets at the Ravens. And obviously, you're going to be throwing Lamar Jackson straight into your lineup. Now, I know he got banged up in that game, and it's seeming like he is going to play, so you should not worry at all. Up against this terrible New York Jets defense, he's going to be able to slice and dice and look all surgical on that New York Jets defense. This should be an easy game for Lamar Jackson, probably the number 1 quarterback on the week, if I was to guess. At least, definitely for sure, a top 5 guy. Even though I think they may take him out after he skull fucks the Jets so hard, then I think they're going to put in RG3 maybe in the 4th quarter. I'm going to be sitting down my boy Sammy Motto. Sam Darnold really has not done anything in the last couple of games, even with these juicy matchups. And since he has not done much, I really don't believe he's going to do anything up against a tougher Baltimore Ravens defense on Thursday night. Knock one time if you are with me. Next game here, we got the Bears at the Green Bay Packers. Now, obviously, you're going to be starting up Aaron Rodgers. Okay, but he has the and next to his name, because if you have a riskier option, I can see them outscoring Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers last week playing up against the Washington Redskins shit the bed. He needed those Huggies. I special ordered them on Amazon, got the 1-day delivery to give them out to you guys because he disappointed you big time last week. If you won with Aaron Rodgers, that was a hard victory to get because of the fact that he just fucking did so bad. This week he's playing the Bears, an even tougher matchup. Obviously, the Washington Redskins defense is fucking terrible. And now he has an actual defense he is playing against. He has been so up and down all fucking year that I'm really not sure what he is going to do in this game. He's obviously a start due to the fact that he has so much talent, but I'm not sure that he could put up 25, 30 points that you might need to win your fantasy football matchup. I'm going to be sitting down kissing titties Mitchell Trubisky. Now, obviously, the last couple of games, Mitch Trubisky has been on fire. And if you're feeling dangerous, you're feeling super risky, you can go ahead and start Mitch Trubisky, but I just don't believe on the guy. I think that he could go from being super hot to dead in just a 1 game's time. Next game here, we got the Patriots at the Bengals. A bit of Spygate action here. I'm going to be starting up the spy himself, Tom Brady. TB12, obviously, in this game up against the Cincinnati Bengals should be a very easy matchup. While the last couple of quarterbacks playing up against the Bengals have disappointed. I really don't think that Tom Brady will on Sunday. I really like Tom Brady in this matchup, but obviously he doesn't have that high of a ceiling. He's much more of a floor play, a guy that you know is going to get to be a top 10 quarterback on the week, but not a guy that really will be able to, even against a soft-ass Bengals defense, to be a top 5 guy or even the number 1 quarterback on the week. Obviously, you're going to be sitting down the Red Rocket, Andy Dalton, considering the fact that the Patriots already know all their plays. They already know all the hand signals because they're a bunch of cheating fucks. And I know you're in the comments right now. Nick, the Patriots didn't actually cheat. That's a bunch of mumbo jumbo spread by the league. Roger Goodell's a fucking asshole. Massachusetts is the best. Tom Brady is the best. Let's go. But with that said, Andy Dalton, he's going to get fucked in this game. Whether there was spying, whether there was not spying, he is going to get skull fucked in this game. He has no chance to do anything up against this New England Patriots defense. Next game here, we got the Seattle Seahawks at the Carolina Panthers. Now, I'm going to be starting up Russell Wilson in this game. Obviously, Russell Wilson is a must start pretty much every single week. While a lot of people have him as like a top 5 MVP candidate, he's not winning that shit. Lamar Jackson is going to win that shit, but even in this game up against the Carolina Panthers, whether he's the MVP or not, Russell Wilson is going to be able to have a big game this week up against a not so good Carolina Panthers defense. I'll be sitting down Kyle Allen in this game. Kyle Allen has been pretty inconsistent this year, and up against the Seattle Seahawks defense that actually looks very well improved. It actually looks like a good defense in the league. I would not trust a guy like Kyle Allen to be able to put up any reasonable fantasy points to warrant him being a start this week in fantasy football. Next game here, we got the Texans at the Tennessee Titans. And in this matchup, I love both of these quarterbacks to put up huge matchups of potentially top 5 guys. Now, Deshaun Watson obviously is a guy that's a must start in your lineup every single week up against the Tennessee Titans defense. That is good, but not the greatest defense in the league. I think that Deshaun Watson will be able to perform in this game, but caution, caution, caution. If Will Fuller does not play, this Houston Texans offense does not look as good without Mr. Will Fuller. Now, Ryan Tannehill, on the other hand, he's been on fire, and you are not going to be able to stop the flame. He is on fire like NBA Jam style. He is going to be able to go up against this Houston Texans defense and be able to put up a humongous game this week. I really believe Ryan Tannehill has potential to be a top 5 guy and even potentially the number 1 guy, considering he has been so hot, and I don't think that the flame dies out this week. Next game here, we got the Dolphins at the New York Football Giants. And before I get into this matchup, I'd like to ask if you guys have enjoyed thus far to please make sure to click that subscribe button if you're new, and if you are not new, to please click that like button down below. I would greatly appreciate it. If you guys do have any questions, any comments, any concerns, please make sure to leave them in the comment section down below. So back to the Dolphins at the Giants. I'm going to be starting up Ryan Fitzmagic in this game. I know last week they got into the red zone so many times, and they just never were able to punch the ball in. They had to kick 9,000 field goals in that game. Sanders got 7 field goals in that matchup in a loss to the Jets. Now they're at home. They're in the same stadium again this week against the Giants. I believe Ryan Fitzmagic has a bounce back game. I'm going to be sitting down Eli Manning in this game. Obviously, Eli Manning looked quite good from a quarterback standpoint last week up against the Philadelphia Eagles on Monday night, but I just do not trust Eli Manning enough, even against a not so hot Dolphins defense. Next game here, we got the Eagles at the Washington Redskins. In this game, obviously, you are going to be starting up Carson Wentz. Now, I know last week he looked fucking atrocious in the first half. I've never seen a game where the first half and the second half were so two completely different tales of the game, aside from the Super Bowl where the Atlanta Falcons ended up choking to the Patriots. Now, obviously, Carson Wentz looked fucking awful in the first half. He looked atrocious. And then the second half, he got hot, and he stayed hot, and then they won in overtime, throwing 2 touchdowns. Now, obviously, throwing 2 touchdowns against an atrocious Giants is not that much of a feat, but this week he's up against the Washington Redskins, a just as bad defense, a just as bad team. I think that Carson Wentz will be able to ball out again this week. I'm going to be sitting down Dwayne Hashcans, the trash can, because his O-line is just so bad. He really has no chance to do anything. Even if he throws a garbage time touchdown to Terry McLaurin, that's really not going to be able to elevate him into being a starter for your fantasy football team. Next game here, we got the Broncos at the Chiefs, a matchup between Drew Horsecock Lock and Patty Showtime Mahomes. Obviously, that was my phone falling straight off of my torso, whatever the fuck it's called, my thigh, I guess, down there. Now, obviously, I'm going to be starting up Pat Mahomes in this game. Showtime Mahomes is always a must start in fantasy football up against the Broncos, a game that he played earlier in the season and played quite well in, a game that Pat Mahomes always plays well in. I really like him this week up against the Denver Broncos. Now, I'm going to be sitting down Drew Horsecock Lock. Now, I know he played a phenomenal, amazing the last 2 games in a row, and I know some people are going to try to get risky, a bit too risky, and try to play Drew Lock this week. Don't do it. Don't trust it. I don't trust him up against the Chiefs, against a game where I think that the Chiefs could get up so much and Drew Lock just starts making mistakes because he has to heave the ball down the field. And I just do not trust Drew Lock in this game. Next game here, we got the Buccaneers at the Detroit Lions. I'll be starting up famous Jameis Winston. Now, he's going to be eating a W for your fantasy football team this week. I love Jameis Winston in this matchup up against a terrible Detroit Lions with or without Mike Evans. Obviously going to be without Mike Evans. It does not fucking matter because Jameis Winston just throws the rock so much that it does not matter. He will throw for 350 yards, 3 touchdowns in this game, and 2 interceptions, and it still won't fucking matter. He will still put up huge numbers for your fantasy football team. Obviously, the fact that he hurt his hand or he has an injury to him is obviously something to worry about, but he will be probably good to go this week against the Detroit Lions. I really like Jameis Winston in this matchup. I'm going to be sitting down David Blau in this matchup because David Blau looked super hot fire on Thanksgiving. He was eating that turkey, looking good, even though they lost. And then the next game, he looked terrible. And this week without Marvin Jones, I would be a bit worried about David Blau. Not like you were going to start him anyways in your fantasy football playoffs. Next game here, we got the Browns at the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to be starting up Kyler Murray in this matchup. Obviously, the 5'6" man should be able to go and make his way through this Browns defense. I like Kyler Murray this week. He gets it done with his legs and through the air, so I believe that he could put up a positive matchup this week up against the Cleveland Browns. Now, I am going to be sitting down Baker the Faker Mayfield in this matchup. He has had so many hot fire matchups in a row and just has not performed at all, really. He's just put up 2 shit games in a row. I do not trust him up against this Arizona Cardinals defense. I know if you're feeling dangerous, you're feeling a bit risky. There's obviously a lot worse plays than Baker the Faker Mayfield this week, but I'm just not sure he's going to be able to get it done even up against a trash-ass Arizona Cardinals defense. Next game here, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Oakland Raiders, and I'm going to be sitting down both quarterbacks in this matchup. Gardner Minshew obviously has a much more upside play. Gardner Minshew has actually looked okay in fantasy football the last couple of games. He has gotten the start after Big Dick Nick Foles got sat onto the pine. I think that Gardner Minshew could have a good game, but I just don't trust him even up against a not-so-hot Oakland Raiders defense. Derek Carr obviously has been on the decline. His season was like this. It was just okay, going up, going down a bit, and now it's went from like where it was actually kind of going up a bit to straight into the fucking gutter. He is in the garbage can. Do not start Derek Carr this week in fantasy football. Next game here, we got the Vikings at the LA Superchargers. And I'm going to be sitting down both quarterbacks in this matchup as well. Now, Kirk Cousins obviously could have a bad game up against the LA Chargers, but the defense has looked kind of good, and I don't believe that he could throw 3 touchdowns in this game that would warrant him being a start. He really does not have that potential, or I don't really think he's going to throw too many yards because I think they're going to be running the ball a lot with Dalvin Cook. I'm also going to be sitting down Mr. 12 Kids, Phillip Rivers. He just has not looked that hot this season. He has really been on a decline this year. He may end up retiring at the end of the season because he's just not looking all that hot. Knock one time if you're with me. Sit Phillip Rivers and Kirk Cousins onto your bench. You like that? Next game here, we got the Rams at the Cowboys. I'm going to be starting up both quarterbacks in this matchup. Now, Jared Goff has been on fire the last couple of games, actually playing quite well. I'm not sure what he's eating, what they put in his Oaties or his fucking Frosted Flakes, whatever, his Cheerios, whatever he's eating. No free ads, but whatever he's eating, he has been on fire. So I believe Jared Goff will have another good game up against a Dal-ass Cowboys defense. I think that Jared Goff should be able to put up quite the good game. Dak Prescott, even though the defense looks terrible, and they keep losing these games, Dak Prescott still has been performing quite well in fantasy football the last couple of games, so I see no reason why Dak Prescott should be a sit in fantasy football this week. Definitely fire up both the quarterbacks in the Rams at the Dallas Cowboys matchup. Next game here, we got the Atlanta Falcons at the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I'm going to be starting up Jimmy Garoppolo in this game. Jimmy Garoppolo was looking absolutely nasty up against the New Orleans Saints last week, and he's playing up against a terrible defense yet again this week in the Atlanta Falcons. I believe Jimmy Garoppolo will have a big game this week against the Atlanta Falcons. That defense just won't be able to stop him. While they like to run the ball, they were still passing a lot last week. George Kittle caught that ball and looked like a fucking monster. There's like 3 dudes on top of him, and he was just walking his way up the sideline. It was beautiful, and I believe that Jimmy Garoppolo will have a big game this week at the Atlanta Falcons. Definitely a top 12 guy for me, even potentially be the number 5 to number 1 guy on the week due to this juicy matchup. I'm going to be sitting down Matty Ice in this game, even though this is not the worst matchup for quarterbacks. I really just don't think he's going to be able to get it done against the 49ers. We saw Drew Brees gash this defense last week, but I really don't believe that Matt Ryan, without Calvin Ridley, will be able to do too much in this game. Next game here, we got the Bills at the Steelers, the Sunday Night Football matchup. And I'm going to be sitting down both quarterbacks in this matchup. Obviously, I'd prefer to start up Josh Allen in this game because even up against the Steelers defense, that is quite good. I think that Josh Allen could get it done with his legs enough to warrant being a guy that is potentially a top 15, top 16 guy in fantasy football. But you're in the playoffs. You don't want to be reaching down that low in the barrel with a guy that does not have super high ceiling in this game. I think that Josh Allen could get it done, but I don't know if he will necessarily be able to do it. I think the chances that he puts up a not so hot game are higher than putting up a great game, so I'm going to lay him down onto the bench. I'm also going to be sitting Ducky Duck Hodges. Obviously, Duck Hodges has looked great for the Steelers organization, but he's not looking too hot for your fantasy football team. Next game here, in the final game here, we got the Monday Night Football game between the Colts at the New Orleans Saints. Now, we started up Drew Brees in this game last week, I know. Nick, you fucking idiot! You told me to start Drew Brees, and Drew Brees did fucking... Or you told me to sit Drew Brees. Drew Brees did nothing. You fucking idiot. Drew Brees balled out of control. And you told me he was going to do nothing. You told me he was going to be trash. You told me he was going to be terrible. You told me that the 49ers were to lock him up, and he threw for 9 million yards. He threw 9 million touchdowns. He's so good. You're fucking stupid, Nick. Go fuck yourself. That's what you're probably thinking. I know. I was very wrong on Drew Brees. A lot of people were so down on Drew Brees. This 49ers defense looking so good. I thought it was going to be a low-scoring game. Turned out being the fucking highest-scoring game on the week. I believe Drew Brees has a great game this week up against the Indianapolis Colts. They have a good run defense, but their pass defense is quite suspect. Last week, obviously, they played kind of good because they're playing against Jameis Winston, but this week they get Drew Brees, a quarterback that doesn't like to throw 9,000 interceptions every single game. I'm going to be sitting down Jacoby Brissett, Jacoby Moneybags in this game. I just do not trust him up against the New Orleans Saints, a game that I think that the Saints are going to handily whoop their ass. So thank you guys all for watching this video. If at any point you ended up enjoying, please make sure to click that subscribe button down below. Click on one of the videos on the side over here, down here. Make sure to check out overlaydfs.com. Link down below in the description. I love each and every single one of you guys. Make sure to have a blessed rest of your day. See you back tomorrow on Thursday. Goodbye, my friend.